see. And in your session, almost 3 months of our classes.
ఇప్పుడు ఒకటే రికార్డింగ్ అవుతుంది.
Hello, Mahesh Garu? Mahesh Garu, am I audible to you? Hello? So, can I start the class? Good morning, friends. Okay, good morning, friends. After long many days, I'm so happy to see you. So, the subject which I'm going to teach you is information technology. So, it is one of the most interesting subject, and moreover, highly complicated one, because you know very well about, for legal people, the jurisdiction is very, very important. So in virtual world, how to fix the jurisdiction for the purpose of filing a case, which is the appropriate forum for adjudication of a particular matter, all those things are very, very important. And moreover, is the internet is having any boundaries? You will say no. Wherever you want, whatever you want, everything is available with the help of this virtual platform. So that is the reason why nowadays this subject is not only important for criminal lawyers. In criminal law, you might have studied something about the concept of cyber crimes. In contract subject also, you might have studied the electronic contracts or e-contracts. And in banking law also, you might have studied the electronic banking. So this information technology law is in connection with many subjects, both civil and personal laws. So during the course of time, we will be discussing those aspects in a very detailed way. But our today's class is an introductory class. Today, let me introduce the nature of the subject, the scope of the subject, and what are the learning outcomes of the subjects. So today I don't want to delve upon the technical aspects or a particular legal aspects of the subject, but let me try my level best to explain the nature of the subject. So let me share the PPT to you before I discuss those things. So friends, before I share this PPT with you, let me explain how this information technology was transformed from earlier days to today. Initially, you know, the development of technology is divided into 4 phases. So out of the 4 phases, is the PPT is visible to you? Is the PPT is visible to you? So friends, we were discussing something about the industrial revolution part. The first industrial revolution is very much dominated by the water and steam engine. Hello, Keshav, tell me. Hello.
अभी व्यस्त है कृपया कुछ समय पश्चात प्रयास करें The number you have dialed
Am I audible to you? Hello.
Hello.
Am I audible to you? Keshav, tell me.
Ma'am, your PPT is not visible and we are unable to unmute ourselves. So we are unable to contact to you.
Okay, let me try my level best to share it, or else after class I can share it.
Okay, okay, okay.
So friends, sorry for the interruption. Let me share the PPT to you. Am I audible to you?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am, you are audible to us.
Okay, let me continue the lecture. In the meantime, I will try my level best to share the PPT. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, friends. So let us continue our discussion with the industrial revolution. The first industrial revolution was very much dominated by your steam engine and the water related technology. So based on that, many missions as well as your railways used to run. So after that first industrial revolution, during second industrial revolution, the electricity was invented. With the help of that, a large scale mechanization was occurred. But whereas during third industrial revolution only, your information technology was invented by United States of America. Basically, if you see the history behind this information technology is that uh, at US, when the defense people, they have invented this technology for the purpose of sharing their knowledge and no, it's not knowledge, I'm sorry, a communication. This information technology is a basic communication tool to share the messages uh, among people, means the defense people. So the first name which is given by US people is ARPANET. So after achieving incredible success with that technology, slowly this information technology was creeped into the computers. So, but like our telegraph, initially this information technology or the ARPANET is the basic method of communication so popular among the defense people. After that, the fourth industrial revolution. Presently, we are in this fourth industrial revolution. So the key drivers of this fourth industrial revolution is digital technology. So we are 200% dependent on this technology today. Our lectures, our day-to-day routine transactions, everything is dominated by this digital technology, my dear friends. So the prominent features of this digital technology is your well-known things. That is, the first one is artificial intelligence, and the second one is machine learning, and the third one is Internet of Things. My dear friends, you can observe the versatility of these three technologies in the coming years. So they are very much disruptive in such a way that they will altogether change the existing technologies in such a way that with a desired goal, we can achieve the result. For that, let me share a simple example how this fourth industrial revolution will transform the industries. For example, if Apurva is a manufacturer of cement, so at present, whether the cement is having demand or not, she is relying on a particular kind of database received from either FICCI or any trade agency. But today, with the help of this 5G, your software, the software which is used by the cement industry for the purpose of manufacturing of that cement, will receive those inputs directly from the computer interface. It will give insights to the manufacturing department in such a way that during the coming days, there is a less demand for this cement because of COVID. So likewise, my dear friends, a complete automation. So it will omit the human intervention, and each and every thing will be commanded, executed, and the end product is also resulted with the help of this information technology. So friends, likewise, from first industrial revolution to this fourth industrial revolution, we can observe the complete transformation of technology. But for the purpose of our subject, the third one and fourth one are very, very important, because during this third revolution only we have invented this information technology, but it was developed enormously during this fourth wave of revolution, that is digitalization. So, so friends, after discussing this industrial revolution, the next important factor which we have to discuss today is the level of internet penetration in India and availability of broadband to the customers who are situated in India. So as of August 2019, in India, we have 615 million broadband subscribers are there. And at global level, if you see, the size of Indian customers is 12%, but whereas at China, 21% subscribers are there. And moreover, my dear friends, yesterday when I have examined McKinsey's report regarding this information technology predictions, what they said is, during a short span of time, India will become a favorite destination for global technology giants like GE, Apple, and Microsoft. Such kind of companies will establish their own units in India. So, friends, this information technology field is driven by three factors. The first one is, uh, what is the foundation of this technology? For example, today we are using this information technology with the help of a particular gadget or a device. So in earlier days, this IT is very much accessible with the help of computer only. But today, you are using this technology in your iPad, mobile phone. If you are a doctor, uh, all the medical equipments, or if you are an engineer, all your engineering equipments are 100% embedded with this information technology. That is the reason why it is a very, very evolving subject. Whenever we are discussing about the legal implications of this subject, against which gadget this technology was used, and moreover, after that, what kind of technology was used by the user. So we know this information technology only, but nowadays, based on this information technology, one more kind of technology was developed by the inventors, that is blockchain technology. So this is the future of information technology. So if anybody wish to use this information technology, every time we are dependent on a intermediary. So for our basic knowledge, the intermediary may be a Google, Bing, MSN, whatever it may be. Somebody should host the particular website. Based on that, we can use this information technology. Means this IT is a particular platform dependent. But this blockchain technology, for this blockchain technology also, we will use this information technology, but while using that technology, that third party is not at all necessary. So peer to peer, between one individual to another individual, every individual will be connected with a particular block. So during that session, I will explain you the difference between information technology and the blockchain technology. So earlier, we are under impression that this blockchain technology is synonymous with cryptocurrencies. But today, if you see, all banking transactions and insurance transactions, e-procurement transactions, all those things, people have started using this blockchain technology. And during COVID, I have examined the health sector is also coming up with this blockchain technology oriented solutions. So the reason behind shifting from information technology to blockchain technology is that there are many advantages are associated with blockchain technology. If it is an information technology in India, the technology is 200% controlled by the Ministry of Electronics. So, and if you wish to get a license, we have a regulator, that is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Yes, Shravanti, you can pose the question.
We can't pose the question unless and until the host unmute Shravanti.
Hmm.
She
Yeah.
can only raise the hand.
But that will be more inconvenient for you, right? If the clarification was not given by me immediately, so she cannot focus on the lecture, right?
Yeah, that's the problem which I expressed in the demo classes, but no one got the thing.
So,
Okay,
Keshav, on behalf of her, for today's sake, you can pose her question, right? So that,
so
uh,
yes, ma'am, I can pose the same question, ma'am. The main problem which will be coming up is I am not knowing the doubt.
so
She has to message me the same.
yeah, let her message. For today's sake, my dear friends, if you people are having any doubts, kindly message Casho. So Casho can forward the same to me. So tomorrow onwards, we will see. So how best we
Yes,
can address. Because with clarity only, we can move further.
yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
friends.
Ma'am, it
Okay,
was
friends.
pressed by mistake, ma'am. She don't have any doubt.
Okay. So thank you,
Okay.
friends. Let us continue our discussion uh, in connection with the difference between information technology and blockchain technology. If it is a information technology, it will be 100% controlled by government. If it is blockchain, peer-to-peer control, company to company, individual to individual, they can create their own business model and they can transact commercially. So, after discussing the various technologies uh, which are interconnected with our subject, let us discuss the basic objectives of the information technology law. So, why are we discussing this subject? What is the need for this information technology law? So the first objective of this course is to give a fundamental knowledge pertaining to the basic principles, the nature and the development of this information technology law from the second industrial revolution to fourth industrial revolution. After gaining the basic knowledge or a fundamental knowledge in connection with this information technology law, then the objective of the course will be shifted towards development of an intellectual rigor among students in such a way that what are the legally accepted, permissible ways of dealing with this information technology. So, dear friends, the second objective is very, very important being a law students. So, let us discuss this aspect by way of taking a simple illustration. So far as our basic understanding is concerned regarding this information technology law, the first one is individual uses, the second one is public uses. So individually, I can communicate with anybody with the help of a email. So email, I will send communications, maybe a personal communication or a professional communication between one to one or one to 100. Email. Email is exclusively meant for personal communication. The second one is the public communication. So, for example, if Anupriya feels that today's class is very, very boring, it's not interesting. So immediately, by way of taking a meme, she might have posted it in the Facebook, and that post might have liked by 10,000 young students like you. So, is the Anupriya's behavior is a legally acceptable one or not? For example, after observing that 10,000 likes means they're all agreeing with her statement in such a way that it is boring. So, can it be treated by the opposite party as a liable, slander, or a defamation? Is that simple instance can provoke me to lodge a case against her in the cyber police station? Is the police station is empowered or authorized to admit the case, or else straight away can I file a case before the High Court? So all those things are very, very important. The very purpose of this information technology law subject is to introduce the basic concepts. After introduction of those basic concepts, what is the permissible and prohibited behavior in this internet or a information technology accepted domains? And moreover, my dear friends, to answer this question only regarding this Anupriya's issue, among that 10,000 people, 9,999 students are from outside India. Only one student, Keshav Baheti, is from India. How to establish that is that evidence is permissible or admissible? All those things we will discuss with the help of landmark judgments. Hence, it is a case study material. So, friends, have you received the compilation of case laws? Study material of information technology law. Did you receive? Okay, after class, I will interact with you. I request Keshav to create a WhatsApp group. Okay, so this is the second objective of the course in such a way that we will be discussing what are the facts were accepted by the court, how the judiciary is responding towards these kind of issues. So this is the only one example was discussed by me. Likewise, there are variety of issues we will discuss during the course of time. And my dear friends, finally, the very objective of this course is to make you confident in such a way that you can reflect your ideas whenever you use this knowledge at your professional platform. So these are the basic 3 objectives of this course. After discussing the objectives of the course, what are the takeaways of this course? Takeaway means the learning experience. What is the outcome of this course? So upon completion of this course, the students are in a position to develop a set of skill. With the help of that skill, they can excel in their legal profession. So that is the only objective. And moreover, my dear friends, this information technology law is having a close connection with intellectual property right law. For example, because of COVID, today the people are accessing the e-books, uh, e-journals, each and everything they're accessing from the internet. So the first intellectual property infringement, we need to understand at the time of using those databases from the virtual world, that is the copyright law. So the interplay between information technology law and copyright law we will discuss. And the second one is also the trademark law. And the relationship between information technology law and trademark law will be studied in such a way that you people know very well about the domain name. For example, if my domain name is www.tatainfo.in, so I have registered a website in www.tata.ac.in. Anupriya is under impression that that is not Sri Sudha Madam's website. Hence, Tata is a well-known trademark. That website is owned, maintained by Tata Group only. So means it is a clear-cut case of passing off. So such kind of issues also we will discuss. So the trademark, with the help of trademark law, many companies are protecting their trademarks by way of lodging permanent injunctions before high courts for the purpose of taking a legal recourse for protecting their own brand image. So we have wonderful judgments from Delhi High Court. So Pratibha Devi Singh, she has delivered a 450 pages judgment in connection with information technology law, domain names, and e-commerce. So I think it takes 5 days or a 1 week time for us to discuss the judgment. So if we discuss the judgment, we'll be in a position to understand various facets of this information technology law. And regarding the pedagogy for the course delivery, hence it is a key study method. After introducing the basic concepts to you, every day we will be discussing the facts, issues pertaining to a particular case law only. So basically the nature of the course delivery is a cohesive mix of lecture method as well as case study method. And moreover, my dear friends, if possible, we may go for discussion method if our technology permits. So this is the pedagogy I have fixed for the purpose of subject delivery. So after that, it is very, very important to discuss something about the definition of internet. So basically, this information technology law subject will revolve around this internet and internet related governed technologies only. So regarding the definition of this internet, the United States of America Supreme Court, in a seminal judgment called ACLU versus Reno. In that judgment, an inclusive definition was propounded by US Supreme Court. So let me explain the contents of the definition. So the US Supreme Court has defined the term internet in a way that the internet is an international network of interconnected computers. So it is an international network of interconnected computers. And they have extended this definition, and this extension was given by Stephen Breyer of United States Supreme Court. He is a judge of US Supreme Court. He said, in this age of science, science should expect to find a warm welcome, perhaps a permanent home in our courtrooms. Our decision should reflect a proper scientific and technical understanding so that law can respond to the needs of the public. So Justice Stephen Breyer, in a succinct way, he has expressed his opinion regarding this internet in such a way that it is not necessary to give a fixed definition for the term internet. So he said the utilitarian purpose. Being a judge, if I am using the technology for judicial process, that can be treated as a internet. Means the usage of internet by a court or a judge for delivery of a judgment. Instead of that, if Anupriya is a banker, she will use internet for the purpose of fund transfer, deposit of money, and many more banking operations. And Cashow may use internet exclusively for poll making. So every day he will post a particular thing. So let us take up the today's issue only. Construction of means foundation stone laying to this Ram Janmabhoomi. Is India is going towards a secularism? He will put a question mark to that statement. So maybe in the poll, 70% people may say that it is an unsecular activity, 30% people may say it is secular. So based on that, he will prepare his own perspective. Likewise, my dear friends, if you see the definition of internet which is given by US Supreme Court in ACLU versus Renault case, what they said is based on utility of internet in a particular platform, we need to fix the boundaries. And in India also, the Supreme Court of India has defined what is a URL. After defining the internet, the second definition which we need to focus is URL. Every day, we people will type against URL. So the clarification to this acronym is Uniform Resource Locator. Means from which territory or from which server this URL is coming from. Based on that, we can locate. So basically, being a IPR teacher, after receiving a complaint from Nikila regarding a piracy of a movie. So with the help of this URL only, I will locate from where the perpetrators have accessed the copyrighted material and posted it in a particular unauthorized website. Likewise, my dear friends, this URL is nothing but a logical address of a web page. For example, in court, at the time of what is the first aspect of judicial proceeding? Sending a notice to the opposite party. So where we will send the notice? To the party. Likewise, in information technology law also, after understanding the definition of internet, identification of URL is very, very important. So based on that, only we can fix the jurisdiction. And For the purpose of identification of this URL, doctrine of universality will be of a great help. So, what is this doctrine of universality, territoriality? All those things in a very detailed way we will discuss with the help of certain landmark judgments. So, friends, regarding this jurisdictional aspects in connection with information technology law, we have a very, very rich jurisprudence interconnected with starting from your international showcase, Zippo case, and in India, we have a wonderful judgment that is delivered by Justice Muralidhar. If we discuss these three judgments, you will get a better clarity regarding the identification of the URL and fixation of the jurisdiction in connection with information technology related cases. So the judgment which is delivered by Justice Muralidhar is Banyan Tree case. It's a very, very interesting judgment, my dear friends. So we will discuss all those things. So after discussing what is a URL, the next definition we should learn is a log or a log file, login. So that is the reason why whenever you are accessing a particular email or a website, they will ask login. So this log file is also very, very important. So the definition which is given by Professor R.K. Chube regarding log file, a log file is a file that lists actions that have occurred. So, for example, in connection with a cyber crime, so whether the perpetrator is innocent or having mens rea to commission of a particular offense, after logging in their account, so that account will be examined by the cyber forensic experts. So this log file is a very, very important tool for the purpose of analyzing the series of events. So with the help of those events only, we can navigate into the facts. So after knowing the basic meaning or a definition of this log file, the next important definition we should know is what is a IP address. So IP is popularly known as Internet Protocol. So the very purpose of this protocol is to connect each and every computer on the internet which is having a numerical address. That numerical address is popularly called as an IP address, used to route the packets to it across the internet. So basically, you know, my dear friends, in internet, how we will transfer the data from one user interface to another user front, the packets of data. The packets of data will be compressed in the form of, you know, the coding language, the binary code. So if you open Sundar Pichai's website and all, so wonderful lectures are there in connection with this coding. So all the codes the computer programmer will write for the purpose of transfer of data from one user interface to another user interface. And moreover, the significance of IP address is attributed in such a way that it is a geographical descriptor of the virtual world, and we can track from which place the information is flowing into a particular domain. So this IP address is also very, very important. So friends, after knowing the basic definition of what is the internet, URL, log register, and the last one is IP address. These four things are very, very important at the time of investigation of a cyber crime. So friends, after discussing the objectives of the course, nature of the course, certain important definitions very much relevant for this subject, one more important factor we need to discuss today, that is this information technology law is not only limited to govern or regulate the technology related aspect, means transfer of technology from one device to another device. No, that is the first facet of the subject. The second facet of the subject is communication. So after using this platform for the purpose of transfer of data, the second one is communication. So that is the reason why the subset of this information IT law is also popularly known as ICT, Information Communication and Technology Law. Earlier, your IT law is very much connected with computer or a gadget only. But today, you are using that ICT with the help of your mobile. So these two terms are not synonyms, but very well connected. So that is the reason why countries like Europe and US, they will not call this subject as information technology law, information communication.
Ma'am, so sorry to interrupt in between, ma'am. Ma'am, we have another class from 11 o'clock, and as it is new for many of us, it takes time to join. So
Okay,
can we
friends.
wind up our class now?
Yeah. Let me take 1 minute time. We will wind up today's class. So this information technology law is also popularly known as information technology and telecommunication law. At western side, they will add this telecommunication law is also a part and parcel of this IT law. So friends, with these introductory remarks, today we have learned what are the various technologies are relevant for our subject. The first one is information technology, the second one is blockchain technology, and after that we have discussed about how this technology was progressed from first industrial revolution to fourth industrial revolution, the objectives of the course, outcomes of the course, and the definitions which are very much relevant for this IT. So friends, thank you so much for your patient listening. So I'm expecting that from tomorrow onwards, if the technology permits, if it is interactive, it will be more effective. So tomorrow we will discuss the modules, the contents in the modules, and from day after tomorrow onwards, let us jump into the subject. So friends, thank you so much for your patient listening.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So much.
హలో, మిస్డ్ కాల్ చూశాను. అదేనండి, ఇది గూగుల్ మీట్లో లేదు, అసలు ఇంటరాక్టివ్గా లేదు. పిల్లలకి డౌట్ ఉన్నా వెంటనే క్లారిఫై చేయలేకపోతున్నాం. వాళ్ళు చెప్పి ఆ క్యాషోతో చెప్పి అది ఇంటరాక్టివ్గా లేదు సార్. మరి దానికి టెక్నాలజీ వాళ్ళతో చెప్పి ఏదో చేద్దాం. అంటే వాళ్ళకి వెంటనే క్లియర్ చేయకపోతే ఆ డౌట్తో క్లాస్ విన్నా వాళ్ళకి ఎఫెక్టివ్గా ఉండదు. ఇప్పుడు మనమైనా అంతే కదా, ఇష్యూ ఉంటే అది ఏమైనా టెక్నాలజీ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ అవుతుందా చూడమనండి. పర్వాలేదండి. ఇప్పుడు చైతన్య, మహేష్ గారితో చెప్పండి, ఈరోజు 4th అవర్ కూడా నాకు ఐపీఆర్ ఉంది, అది లింక్ పంపించలేదు. ఇవ్వండి.
హలో మ్యామ్. హలో మ్యామ్.
మహేష్ గారు, 4th అవర్ ఐపీఆర్ ఉంది సార్. క్లోజ్ చేసేయండి, వాళ్ళకి ఇంకో క్లాస్ ఉందని వాళ్ళే రిక్వెస్ట్ చేశారు. అవుతుంది ఇది, ఇంకా పీపీటీ షేరింగ్